Welcome to the Rays of Hope YouTube channel. We're here at Praise Temple Ministries in Neptune, New Jersey. I'm Jada Rodriguez, Vice President of Rays of Hope. We also have
Alina DeZoiza, and I'm the secretary with Raise of Hope.
Amaya White, and I am the president.
Today, we're speaking with the Dow family, who are very active members of Rays of Hope. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Yes, hi, I'm Mrs. Dow.
I am Jordan Dow.
And I'm Jocelyn Dow.
We are here today to talk to you. Well, actually, we're here today to spread awareness about autism. Actually, both Jordan and Jocelyn have been diagnosed with autism when they were 2 years old. Jordan now is
Jordan Dow.
You are Jordan Dow. She's 17 years old. And then Jocelyn is 15. They're both in high school. They enjoy a wide range of different activities, and as parents, both my husband and I, we made sure that their diagnosis was not seen as a limitation. And so Jordan is actively involved with Special Olympics. She does swimming and golf. She's actually a very good swimmer. Backstroke is her best stroke. And then Jocelyn, she enjoys sports as well. She does volleyball, track, as well as fencing. And then both girls have been recognized for their community service that has really been grown and developed as being part of Rays of Hope. And then in addition, have academic success.
Now, what is autism to you?
Well, you want to take that, Jocelyn?
Of course. I would say that autism to me, like a way to describe it, like I wouldn't necessarily say it's something that holds people back, but it is challenging for those because like in certain fields such as like communicating or like their learning process, like sometimes it may take them a little longer for them to learn something than somebody else. But I would say that in a way it helps them like man, can we edit that out?
No, we don't have to edit it out. So to help, okay, autism, it impacts the way that individuals experience the world. Actually what it is that their pathways in their brains are actually wired differently than your neurotypical developing peer, so like you guys. So the way that you experience conversation or you experience a room or interacting with others is very different if you have autism. If you have autism, you can be impacted by the lights, very sensitive to sound. Really the way that it looks is that you'll have an individual who does not experience the world the same that you do. It can impact their communication, socially, and emotionally as well. It can be challenges in that area. Both Jordan and Jocelyn have autism, but I'm certain that as we continue this interview, you'll notice that it impacts them very differently in terms of the way that they can engage with you guys as well as the world.
Okay, so how long have you had autism for?
Well, ever since I was born. But I've been diagnosed since I was 2 years old. So like even though I don't exactly remember what exactly happened, I feel like I might have been aware that I would have been placed into another world where some people will see me a different way.
So going off of that, what has it been like growing up with autism?
Though I do feel like that it did set challenges for me sometimes. I feel like it also helped me to know myself better as a person and how I develop into the world, like in terms of my art. And I feel like it helps me with my creativity, and I also feel like that it aids me with being more patient and taking more time on my work because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist because of it. But yeah.
Okay, so we talked about you growing up with it. So has it affected you when you're a teen?
When I was a teen, um,
As a teen, you're still a teen,
oh
right?
yeah, yeah. I would say that it impacts me socially wise, in terms of like meeting other people, and though it has been a struggle when I was younger, um, because I was growing up, but I feel like as time passed by, um, I got to, I became more aware of myself as a person and my autism, and I learned how to like use it as my strength, with both socially and with academically with my classes, and yeah.
So
Let me just add to that. I have to say that as a parent, because I'm hoping some of you guys out there in YouTube space, you guys are parents as well, listening, checking this out. I would say as a parent, one thing that my husband and I did was we did not hide autism from our kids. We did not make it something that was a bad word or something to be ashamed of, but it also was not a badge that gave them a free pass. So Jocelyn will tell you, regardless of, in spite of, the expectation is that they both do. So in terms of maybe I would say your awareness of it, I started early on in terms of an IEP, which is a tool that if you have a special need or you learn differently, that it kind of levels the playing field so you can do your best in your classes and stuff and really benefit from your schooling. I actually involved her in that process, starting, I want to say, as early as fifth grade, the summer of fifth grade going into sixth grade, where we talked about what an IEP was, what accommodations were, and really looked and said, because I had ideas that were things that, you know, the girls could and could not do, but I said, you know what, let me ask them. And I want to say that starting in sixth grade, Jocelyn more so than Jordan was able to identify and say, no, Ma, I don't need that, or yeah, that'll really help, that kind of thing. And that was very powerful. So now in ninth grade, what that looks like is that she's a regular member when we sit down and meet as a team to talk about her academics or her performance, her program. And I actually start with her. So what worked well, what did not work well. And that's been extremely beneficial. So in terms of what autism looks like in our house, is it's made us have very deliberate practices in recognizing, like she said, in knowing her strengths and weaknesses by doing just that. What worked, what didn't work, and what are you going to do next time, that kind of thing.
okay, so I have another question. Are there things that you can't do because of your autism?
Well, like I said before, like with being patient, sometimes I work more on the assignments that we do in class, but because of that, it like it extends the time which I'm supposed to finish it, unfortunately. But yeah, and sometimes it's hard for me to do math in my head, even though I'm capable of doing so. It gets messed up in my head, so it's hard to like just do it in my head instead of like, yeah.
Of course. So, could you share with us any pivotal moments in your life that have resulted because of your autism? I know you're very good in artistic things and everything, so if you could share something about that, that'd be awesome.
Well, besides the art, there was a time in middle school when, in sixth grade, because I was introduced to this like new math stuff, so I was still adapting up to that. And even though I had a passing grade, my math teacher said that I couldn't continue on because of the extra aid that I needed in that said math class. And that impacted me a lot because it made me feel like that it reminded me that in the world some people will view you in that way because of what you're identified as. But it also taught me that I shouldn't let the opinions of others hold me back from what I believe that I have potential in.
So talk about that. So what did you do?
Um, where did we go? What was it called?
The Board of Ed.
Oh yeah, we went we went to the Board of Ed, and we advocated for my point to go into the higher class, which I believe that I was ready to be in, because I was not going to go to a slow class that like I would have felt like I would have been held back in, instead of a class that I would have been challenging myself in, not in terms of like struggling, but in terms of pushing myself in a way that I know where I can develop.
So, what are some of your goals? I know because you're doing well in math and everything. What are some of your goals as a student and with your autism and everything?
Well, I hope to have by the end of the year to continue to stay on honor roll, and to increase my GPA, hopefully to a what's it called, a 3.8. Yeah, that's what I aim for. And to improve in my sports, like track and volleyball, and hopefully get on the varsity, get my varsity jacket. And to improve my art skill, and to improve socially wise as well.
Do you have any advice for any other children with autism?
Don't let the expectations of others hold you back from your own potential. Yeah.
Do you have any advice for parents who have autistic children as well?
Well, what I would say is, to piggyback on what Jocelyn said, is to always dream big for your kids and never stop. A lot of times when you have a special needs child, you have so many people that are in your ear saying what they can't do or what they may never do. And the idea is, if you dream big for your kids, and it's funny that we're here in the temple here. For our family, what was incredibly powerful was our connection with God and our spirituality, because the idea is, the old saying is, God doesn't make junk. So while what we have or what we experience or how we process the world around us, regardless if that's different from everyone else, that doesn't make it less. So when you dream those big dreams and you set those goals, those audacious goals, and you see your children reaching each and every one of those or coming close, the idea is you really see, if I'm being truth.com with you guys, you see the power of God. And so that is one thing that I will forever be grateful for. You see me getting a little emotional. I forgot to warn you guys, I do get emotional. But I want to make sure that you parents out there, that you know, if I sat here and I told you that every day was rosy and everything was perfect, and every answer that I ever got was a yes from the school or the school district, and it made the experience of the girls perfect, I would be lying to you. We've been incredibly blessed with having a very supportive family unit, which has helped us guide our children the way that we have, a supportive community partnership. Rays of Hope has been incredibly powerful for our family because, and we talked about it a little bit in the car coming over here for this interview, it allowed the girls the avenue to serve. And the idea is, I just heard it somewhere, it talked about, you really can't take credit for the gifts and talents that you've gotten. Doesn't matter, these gifts and talents that you have. What counts is how you use them. And so one thing that each and every one of my children have shown me is that they take the gifts and talents that God has given them, and they invest them and they use them beyond anything superficial. It takes a lot, if I'm parents out there relating, it takes a lot for your child to learn how to do what so many others take for granted, to tie your shoe, to say I love you, to be able to interact with others. And when you see it and you're like, yes, or you're like, God, send me a sign, let me know, and you see it, you're like, yes. And so the gift of autism is that it has allowed us to appreciate the little things. and to realize that those little things really aren't so little. And then I would say that the challenge of autism is that as a parent, you know that your kids are okay when you're here. See, I get emotional. Oh, I wasn't ready. We're going to edit that out, right? No, but I would say the biggest challenge is when you think about the world when you're not here. So, or when you're not there, I should say. So when you send them off to school when they get a little older. I know, you see me getting emotional. Y'all got to edit this. But when you send them off to school, and you know sometimes everybody is not going to accept them the way that they are or love them the way that you love them. And being able to say that you've instilled in them a love of self and a love of and the belief in God, to know that regardless of if you see my value or not, I know that I'm valuable. If I see my belief reflected in you or not, it doesn't matter, because I know what my beliefs are and how I'm grounded. And so really and truthfully, for any parent out there, that is the seed that we plant in each and every one of our children, regardless of if they're special needs or not. It's just that the likelihood that they're going to encounter somebody who is maybe not as patient or respectful or as admirable as you are is more likely. I think people's first response when they see someone different is to kind of give them a little look and say, what's going on there? And so as a parent of special needs kids, and I'll say with autism in particular, the challenge is that when you look at someone with autism, you don't see it right away. They look like everybody else, you know. But then when you go to talk to them and you don't get a response back, or maybe, you know, you have someone on the spectrum who may have tics, so they jump or they stim or they do arm flapping or something that just makes them stand out a little bit more. You know, a lot of times individuals cannot be as patient. They'll give that look and they'll walk away. And the key is that autism is not contagious. You can't catch it. You won't be seen as being less than by being nice to someone who is. But it really and truthfully, and maybe I went a little bit off your question a little bit, but I would say that it goes beyond being nice to someone. It goes more into the same way you make a connection with someone else, and it's like, oh, I want to be there because I want to see Amaya. Oh, Amaya, how's your day? You know, when you're dealing with someone on the spectrum, you may not get back that same gratification. Like Amaya might not say back to me, oh, it's great to see you, Mrs. Dow. She might be like, hey, you know, but again, inside, that's their way of expressing that they're happy to see you. And so, yeah. Y'all gonna edit all that, right? Yes, you are.
Now, is there anything we can expect from you wonderful ladies in the near future?
Oh, me?
I'm wonderful every day.
Higher grades than before. And I guess a little character development in myself, I guess. Yeah.
Jordan, do you have something to share? What are some of your favorite things?
My favorite things is swimming and golfing.
Oh, that's right. Good job. Anything else you want to share?
What did do on Friday, Mommy?
Oh, Friday we got big plans. What are we doing? Friday is, what are we doing Friday? I think we're going to get our hair done, guys.
And hopefully eyebrows.
Yep. And it's Good Friday. Oh, actually Friday we are serving with Rays of Hope. Where are we serving at? Perth Amboy at the homeless shelter. We're going to be serving some meals and being a blessing to others. That's what we're doing Friday, Good Friday.
And after your service on Good Friday, do you have any long-term goals for yourselves?
Like long term wise, like go to college, an Ivy League college. Yeah, I said that's so fun. And or selective college. and get the dream job that I want, which is somewhere in the art field or maybe psychology. Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like our viewers to know today?
I don't even know. No.
Jordan, you got anything else to share?
What did do on Saturday, Mommy?
She making sure I got plans right for this weekend, as you can see. What are we doing Saturday?
Passover.
Oh, it is Passover, yes, and we're going to your sister's track meet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ask your question again. What was your question again?
Is there anything else you would like to share to the viewers?
Oh, anything else to share? I would say that for everybody listening out there, whether you have someone that's directly impacted by autism, as you know, within your family, your immediate family, extended family, a neighbor, someone, a parishioner at church, I say that would definitely help make the world a better place is if everyone would educate themselves more. So forums like this, watching this YouTube channel is a good way to kind of whet the palate a little bit, to learn a little bit more about autism. But I would say go out there, get involved, interact with others, volunteer your time, do a little research on your own. Within New Jersey, the statistic is that 1 in 49 children are diagnosed with autism. Predominantly, my girls represent an anomaly. Those impacted the most by autism are actually males, and actually white males. And so as young black women, they, like I said, they're a minority in that grouping. However, that does not mean that they deserve less attention, or that there's something to be looked at as a spectacle. The idea is that by having more individuals in the community armed and aware about what autism is and what it is not, you're better able to embrace and love and support these individuals. The likelihood that you are going to encounter someone that is on the spectrum in the state of New Jersey, those were New Jersey statistics that I shared, is incredibly great. And so when you encounter a family out at the mall or at the supermarket and you see that kid just acting a little bit extra, it may not be the result of poor parenting. It may be something else that's going on. And so rather than giving a dirty look or, you know, those side comments that so many individuals can be quick to share, take a minute to pause and see how you can extend help. You know, that's it, you know. And then lastly, I would say, while I know I got a little emotional here, I just want to point out that those that are impacted directly by autism, they don't want anybody to feel sorry for them. You know, in no way, shape, or form do I feel that I need someone to sympathize with my family or with my children. The idea is, like I said, they are greatly blessed and highly favored, and autism does not create a barrier to that. It just makes it so they have to find an alternate path. And so don't give them your sympathy, you know. Just, you know, treat them like everybody else, and that would be it.
Well, on behalf of Rays of Hope, I'd like to thank the Dow family for giving us this important information. I'm sure this has not only helped myself and the rest of our panel, but everyone else viewing this video. Just to remind everyone, we're here at Praise Temple Ministries in Neptune, New Jersey.
And we'd like to give a special thanks to Bishop and Lady Craddox for allowing us to be here. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Be sure to stay tuned to the Rays of Hope channel, because for the rest of the month of April, we will be having video submissions from other members of Rays of Hope about their information found on autism. Thank you.
Stay tuned.